Good morning once again. Here we are, Thursday, March 19th, day 4 of virtual learning. Thank you for joining us for Drop Everything and Read. Yesterday, when we left The Hate You Give, there were some pretty pivotal scenes. As we know, unfortunately, Khalil has been reduced to that term drug dealer or suspected drug dealer. And we know the news didn't mention that he was unarmed. The police spoke to an unnamed witness. And we know that Star is trying to remain anonymous, but her friends are starting to question, is this the Khalil who used to come to their birthday parties? Another pivotal scene from yesterday, as we know, Haley and Star are friends. And you may have noticed there's a bit of a power struggle between them recently, like talking over each other, trying to assert their power or make their voice heard. And in yesterday's reading, Haley mentioned, as the girls were playing basketball against the boys, pretend the ball is fried chicken. And I left you with that thought: can someone make a racist comment without being racist? And it's a very loaded question, but we witnessed it in the book. We don't know if Haley truly intended to say anything derogatory towards Star because of her skin color, or if it was just a reference to the lunch that Star really enjoyed at lunch. So just be aware, be kind, be careful what you say to others. And remember, we're all humans being. Even in this coronavirus struggle, we're all humans being. Reach out to each other, ask how they are today. Just be. Thank you again for joining us. Let's get back into our reading. As we know, we're on page 78 here on our digital version of the book. For those of you lucky enough to follow along at home, you are approximately 20 pages ahead. So you're almost at page 100, somewhere between 98 and 100. You will find this passage of text. So here we go. We've wanted to ask if it was Khalil who used to come to your birthday parties, Maya adds. We didn't know how, though. The drug dealer, that's how they see him. It doesn't matter that he's suspected of doing it. Drug dealer is louder than suspected ever will be. If it's revealed that I was in the car, what will that make me? The thug ghetto girl with a drug dealer? What will my teachers think about me? My friends? The whole world, possibly. So all of a sudden, she's afraid her Williamson persona will be gone and people will see Star for who she's afraid she is. She's still growing to be comfortable in her own skin and the power of her own voice. I I close my eyes, Khalil stares at the sky. Mind your business, Star, he says. So she's having a bit of a flashback. I swallow and whisper, I don't know that, Khalil. It's a betrayal worse than dating a white boy. I deny him, damn near erasing every laugh we shared, every hug, every tear, every second we spent together. A million I'm sorries sound in my head, and I hope they reach Khalil, wherever he is. Yet they'll never be enough. But I had to do it. I had to. Then what is it? Haley asks. Is this like Natasha's anniversary or something? And remember, Natasha was the friend who was killed when Star and Natasha were just 10 years old. So Star's first exposure to gun violence. Is this like Natasha's anniversary or something? I stare at the ceiling and blink fast to keep from bawling. Bawling is another word for crying, really emotional crying. Besides my brothers and the teachers, Haley and Maya are the only people at Williamson who know about Natasha. I don't want all the pity. Mom's anniversary was a few weeks ago, Haley says. I was in a bad mood for days. I understand if you're upset, but to accuse me of being racist, Star? How can you even? I blink faster. God, I'm pushing her away. Chris, away. Hell, do I deserve them? I don't talk about Natasha, and I just flat out denied Khalil. So she's struggling with bringing her Black culture into this primarily Caucasian world at school. I could have been the one killed instead of them. I don't have the decency to keep their memories alive, yet I'm supposed to be their best friend. I cover my mouth. It doesn't stop her sob, or doesn't stop the sob. It's loud and echoes off the walls. One follows it and another, so the emotions coming out. She can't find the words, but the emotions are louder than any words could be. Maya and Haley rub my back and shoulders. Coach Myers rushes in. Carter! Haley looks at her and says, Natasha. Coach nods heavily. Carter, go see Miss Lawrence. Miss Lawrence is the school psychologist. Many of us would be referred to talk to Mr. Dale if we had some problems or some emotional concerns. Miss Lawrence is this school's Mr. Dale. What? No, she's sending me to the school shrink? All the teachers know about poor Star, who saw her friend die when she was 10. I used to bust out crying all the time, and that was always their go to line. See, Mrs. Lawrence. I wipe my eyes. Coach, I'm okay. Starts trying to pull together because she does not want to appear weak. No, you're not. She pulls a hall pass from her pocket and holds it toward me. Go talk to her. It'll help you feel better. No, it won't, but I know what will. I take the pass, grab my backpack out of my locker, and go back into the gym. My classmates follow me with their eyes as I hurry toward the doors. Chris calls out for me. I speed up. They probably heard me crying. Great. What's worse than being the angry black girl? The weak black girl? By the time I get to the main office, I've dried my eyes and my face completely. Good afternoon, Miss Carter, Dr. Davis, the headmaster says. The headmaster is another term for director or principal, the equivalent of our Miss Shelley. He's leaving as I'm going in and doesn't wait for my response. Does he know all the students by name, or just the ones who are black like me or black like him? I hate that I think about stuff like that now. His secretary, Mrs. Lindsay, greets me with a smile and asks how she can assist me. I need to call someone to come get me, I say. I don't feel good. And we'll just pause for a second. I think we've all had those days where we've been challenged emotionally, or maybe just tired, or maybe just not feeling so well, and we need to call someone to come and get us. Who would you call to come and comfort you in a time of distress? Would it be your mom, your dad, your parent, guardian, maybe an uncle, an aunt, maybe an older brother? I know I turn to my husband a lot when I need support, but I'm also very lucky to have some great work friends, and also, best friends I've had since sixth grade. So just thinking about who you can call when you need someone. Continuing with the book. I call Uncle Carlos. My parents would ask too many questions. A limb has to be missing for them to take me out of school. I only have to tell Uncle Carlos that I have cramps, and he'll pick me up. Feminine problems. The key to ending an Uncle Carlos interrogation. So he'll stop asking questions. Remember, interrogation, trying to find facts. So if she says feminine problems, that ends the conversation. Luckily, he's on lunch break. He signs me out, and I hold my stomach for added effect. As we leave, he asks if I want some froyo. I say yeah, and a short while later, we're going into a shop that's walking distance from Williamson. It's in a brand new mini mall that should be called Hipster Heaven, full of stores you'd never find in Garden Heights. On one side of the froyo place, there's indie urban style, and on the other side, Dapper Dog, where you can buy outfits for your dog. Clothes for a dog. What kind of fool would I be dressing bricks in a linen shirt and jeans? Do any of you have dogs at home? Do any of you dress them in costumes or outfits? I'd be curious to know. On a serious tip, white people are crazy for their dogs. We fill our cups with yogurt. At the toppings bar, Uncle Carlos breaks out into his froyo yap. I'm getting froyo, yo, froyo, yo, yo. He loves his froyo. It's kind of adorable. We take a booth in a corner that's got a lime green table and hot pink seats. Typical froyo decor. Uncle Carlos looks over into my cup. Did you seriously ruin perfectly good froyo with Captain Crunch? You can't talk, I say. Oreos, Uncle Carlos? Really? And they're not even the golden Oreos, which are by far the superior Oreos. You got the regular ones. Ill. He devours a spoonful and says, You're weird. You're weird. So cramps, huh? He says. I almost forgot about that. I hold my stomach and groan. Yeah, they're real bad today. I know who won't win an Oscar anytime soon. So her acting performance was awful, so she won't win an award. Uncle Carlos gives me his hard detective stare, kind of like that teacher look you get from time to time. I groan again. This one sounds a little more believable. He raises his eyebrows. His phone rings in his jacket pocket. He sticks another spoonful of froyo in his mouth and checks it. It's your mom calling me back, he says, around the spoon. He holds the phone with his cheek and shoulder. Hey, Lisa, you get my message? Oh, no. She's not feeling good, Uncle Carlos says. She's got you now. Feminine problems? Or she's got, feminine problems. Her response is loud but muffled. Oh no. And as you see, they have the S word twice. Uncle Carlos holds the nape of his neck and slowly releases a long, deep breath. He turns into a little boy when Mama raises her voice at him, and he's supposed to be the oldest. Okay, okay, I hear you, he says. Here, you talk to her. She's like wanting to run. He passes me the piece of dynamite formerly known as his phone. There's an explosion of questioning as soon as I say hello. Good line here. He passes me the piece of dynamite. Can you guys tell me what kind of figurative language this is? It doesn't use like or as, but it's got an inanimate object, the phone, compared to something else that we can relate to. So it's a metaphor, a piece of dynamite. The phone is not actual dynamite, but the conversation might explode. So that's why dynamite is the metaphor for this phone call. There's an explosion of questioning as soon as I say hello. Cramps, Star? Really? She says. They're bad, Mummy, I whine, lying my butt off. Girl, please. I went to class in labor with you, she says. I pay too much money for you to go to Williamson so you can leave because of cramps. I almost point out that I get a scholarship too, but nah, she'd become the first person in history to hit someone through a phone. Did something happen, she asks. No. Is it Khalil, she asks. I sigh. This time tomorrow, I'll be staring at him in a coffin. Star, she says, nothing happened. Miss Felicia calls for her in the background. Look, I gotta go, she says. Carlos will take you home. Lock the door, stay inside, and don't let anybody in. You hear me? Those aren't zombie survival tips, just normal instructions for latchkey kids in Garden Heights. I can't let Seven and Sakani in. Great. Oh, somebody's trying to be funny. Now I know you ain't feeling bad. We'll talk later. I love you. Mwah. It takes a lot of nerve to go off on somebody, call them out, and tell them you love them within a span of 5 minutes. I tell her I love her too, and pass Uncle Carlos his phone. All right, baby girl, he says, spill it. I stuff some froyo in my mouth. It's melting already, like I said. Cramps. I'm not buying that. And let's be clear about something. You only get one Uncle Carlos get me out of school card per school year, and you're using it right now. You got me in December, remember? For cramps also. I didn't lie about those. They were nasty that day. All right, one per calendar year, he clarifies. I smile, but you got to give me a little more to work with. So talk. We're going to pause right there because we're up to our 15-minute limit. I'll set the camera up, or I'll set our meeting up for the next round, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks for tuning in.